Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of HairTube. I'm here today with beautiful Amanda. We're in New York City today. I met Amanda online via Don from Nothing But Pixies. She's recently cut all the hair off, so we caught up today to maybe change her cut a little bit. We've had a chat off camera about the changes we're going to make, so we're going to run through that real quick. I'm going to spin Amanda around so you can see. It's already quite short here underneath in the nape. But she's feeling like it's a little bit heavy and a little bit bowly. So what we're going to do is just adjust the shape so we'll get this to sit in a little bit more. And then here on the side, I'm going to adjust the angle so that it blends so it's not so disconnected. Yeah, but she looks amazing. I don't think we really need to make it much shorter. We had a chat about her maybe wanting to wear it back, so I want to keep it versatile. I explained that if we cut it so it goes back all the time, when she wants to wear it to the side, it'll then look a little bit awkward because you're going to have a lot of short length through there. So we're going to find that balance between being able to wear it back and wear it down and flat too. So it's going to be fun.
I'm excited.
I'm feeling jet lagged today, but it's fine really.
Uh-oh.
She's like, are you gonna stuff my hair up? I'm like, no, I won't stuff it up.
Should I leave now?
No, it'll be awesome. I guess I said to Amanda, it's almost like when you get off a carousel and you're a little bit, you just feel a little bit like, is it moving on the ground? Like, but it's not so. I'm going to get her over to the basin, we're going to get her prepped, and then we'll come back and start a haircut. Alright, so back from the basin, and then I'm just going to spin Amanda around so you can see. The distribution of the hair is really, really important, especially when we're doing short hair. So we had a chat about where Amanda likes to wear her hair. She likes to wear it to this side all the time, which is really important. If someone wanted to be flexible with their parting and wear it left and right, you'd actually section a little bit different. So we want to make sure that the part's high. When we combed it back, that was where I wanted to go naturally, so we'll work with that. So I'm going to start with trying to remove some of the roundness in the back. We're going to use graduation just to sit it into her nape a little bit more. Over direct on this side to retain the length a little bit, and then we'll use texture to soften the undercut. I'm not going to blend this side in like the other side, and then this side we're actually going to try and actually blend it in. So we're going to use graduation so it sits in there nice and neat. It'll, in theory, try and remove a little bit of that undercut, but we'll leave it on her right hand side. So I'll spin around, we're going to start in the back. So native New Yorker, hey? So were your parents born in New York too?
They were.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes. Born and raised. We're not fun like you in Australia.
It's cool. Like, I actually have found everybody in New York has been, like, a lot of people who have been to New York and told me about it before I came. He said sometimes the people can be a bit abrasive.
Yes.
And it's not personal, it's just because it's a tough city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you just sort of got to be assertive, and that sort of makes people a bit abrasive. But I just have not seen that at all. Everywhere I've gone, everyone's been pleasant. Everyone's sort of been, yeah, hey man, where are you from?
Mm-hmm.
You don't sound like you're from around here, you know. Like, just last night when I was walking, I was down at just off Houston Street.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so just check out a few bars.
I feel like this
super
neighborhood
cool.
is a little bit more. They're more friendly, more approachable.
Yeah.
Versus like once you get to like Midtown and like I don't know, over here everybody's a little bit more lax.
You got easy hair to cut.
Really?
Oh, it's beautiful. So what's your background?
I'm 75% Italian and 25% Lithuanian.
Do you speak Italian?
I studied in school for
Yep.
forever. My immediate family doesn't, so you know, if you don't practice,
Yep.
you lose it. But I can read it better than I can speak it.
Alright, my dad's Italian.
Oh really?
Yep.
Actually, now that your last name is definitely Italian.
Ciaccia?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not an easy one to forget.
So you 50% Italian?
Yeah. My dad.
50% Australian?
No, my mum's English.
English. Okay.
So
how did you end up in Australia?
There wasn't much going on in Italy after the Second World War, so my grandparents decided to migrate to Australia. And my mum was born in Australia, but her parents are descendants of British convict. So they were sent out there as to help get Australia going, like as so yeah, if we look back into the early 1800s, they were sent out there to do hard labour just for petty crime like stealing milk or bread or something like that. That looks awesome already. So good.
We go to Easter brunch with nice fresh hair. My mom was like, "You're gonna let someone cut your hair that you don't even know that they're coming from Australia? What?" I'm like, "Mom."
She'll see why when you see her.
I know, right? She wants to cut her hair short, but her hair is super thick and coarse. She would definitely have an afro.
You have to just approach it a little bit differently, but it can still be done. Something that I actually don't have a lot of experience. I have a lot of African American women ask me to cut their hair, and I'm just honest with them. I'm just like, look, I just don't have enough. I'm happy to. I think I've got a pretty good idea of how I'll approach it, but I'm not like super confident because we don't deal with a lot of that hair type in Australia. So yeah, there's like, oh, can you just try? And I'm just like, well, I'm happy to try, but like I said,
This is a learning experience.
yeah, it's like, you know, I've just been upfront and honest. Like, you're better off that, you know, see someone that has extensive experience doing that sort of hair, because it can be really tough. All right, so let's spin Amanda around. You can see it. We've gone from having it very, very disconnected. You can see I've just used graduation, and once I use some texture, and then we go and do this scissor over comb a little bit better, this will be completely blended on this side, and then on this side, I'm still going to leave it slightly disconnected because I don't want to go too short there. The reason being is when this grows out from being short, and Amanda will experience this soon, I didn't do it, but the short hair is going to push out on her long hair, and it's going to actually make it sit out really far. So if you wanted to actually collapse the hair using an undercut, I would recommend not going shorter than finger length. So I'd just use it between my cut it between my fingers, and then you use texture either with texturizing scissors or point cutting to collapse the hair. So as it grows out, it doesn't grow sticking out, pushing out on the long hair, because otherwise it defeats the purpose. You want it to sit flat, and the short hair is going to push it out. So something to keep in mind. So just want to make sure that when we're drying off to cut, we don't want to give the hair any sort of false movement. You don't want to give the root any lift, because when you're cutting the hair dry, you want to make sure you're cutting it natural fall. Otherwise, next time when Amanda goes to dry her own hair, it's not going to sit right, because unless she dries it the exact same way you did, it's never going to sit right. So we just use a simple brush, air coming down, and just let it dry naturally. No stretching or straightening. Yep.
So make sure you tag Adam.
I got you, boss.
I'm surprised I'm in good spirits. I haven't had a coffee today.
So you can see as I'm starting to work that in, I'll grab the camera and show you real tight. You can see I'm just trying to work on blending that in for Amanda so it's not disconnected anymore, and still maintaining a really nice shape there for her face. We don't want to make it too flat. One of the things I say is I don't like taking female hair square. For me, it's a very sort of masculine look when you square out the sides of ladies' haircuts. Obviously, we don't want it to be too pronounced and like really, really bowly, but we're gonna collapse it with texture. So you build the shape and you collapse it with texture rather than just buzzing it flat to a head. For me, and look, it's a personal thing. And when I make these statements, it's always my opinion, doesn't mean it's right. And ultimately, it's only right if your client likes it. I just don't like making ladies' hair square. It's not something I like to do. So I like to keep it a little bit softer. Square shapes are too hard, too strong. Amanda was just saying before, it dawned on her that she's having a haircut by someone she doesn't know. It's actually it's the greatest compliment you could ever give to a hair. Well, for someone who cuts hair anyway, a hairstylist, it's like the trust. It's like you sit there and you know, especially when you know, I'm in different cities all around the world, and I'm often, you know, cutting people's hair that I've either met online. You know, they're really trusting, and it's something that I never ever take for granted. It's a big deal.
Great deal of
It's
trust.
a big deal, yeah. It's a real big deal. And hopefully, it's justified in about 30 minutes time we're done. Beautiful shape.
Not, or at least that I've run into, there's not a lot of hairdressers like in the salon that are good with the buzzers
Yeah.
and fading, unless it's a man.
They probably don't do it enough.
Probably.
You know, it's like, think about how many times a barber does it during the day. And although I'm renowned for my short ladies' hair cutting, the majority of my clients have long hair.
Oh really?
Yep, the overwhelming majority have got long hair. They build social these days. You have to do collaboration. It's key. That's brilliant. So that's just nice.
Nice and short.
That's
Gone pretty much.
okay, it grows back really, really fast.
So you just got that beautiful shape there on the side. It's not bowling anymore.
Yes.
So essentially this, it's no shorter than what it was. It just doesn't. It's not like that anymore. It's just brought it in like this. Yeah, I know a lot of barbers have now started to they've started to, like, you know, have whiskey and scotch and
I could 50% for it?
yeah, whiskey and scotch and try and make it about the experience. But you know, I think it's just time out. You know, men and women are both so busy these days. It's just that little bit of escapism. Just chin down a bit more. Just keeping the necktie here. It's just that little bit of escapism so that they can have that, you know, chill out time in their day and then head back to work.
And now so many barbershops are offering like facials and face
Yep.
masks.
Yep. Yeah, one of the best barbering experiences I actually had was in London at what they call an Ottoman barber, like a Turkish barber. Oh, it's incredible. Hot towel. Then they have these guys come up to you now. It's actually quite rough, like and they're like really like working your shoulder. It's not like like they're really getting into it. It's great. It's like, man, that's awesome. Then they get this cotton with a bit of alcohol on it, and they do this, like they burn the hairs off your cheeks and
Oh,
that.
wow.
It's crazy. I thought it was amazing. So it's interesting that's starting to happen here.
Yeah.
Because someone was actually talking about that in Australia, how they want to take the barber from having a really awesome, cool haircut, because it was about being a cool experience, like cool barbers, music going in and out, walk out with a really cool haircut. Now it's all about slowing down the pace, relaxing, you know, more chilled out environment. Okay, so we've done the back. Let's just have a quick recap. You can see we've blended that in. We've got rid of the disconnection. I've just worked it into existing fade that was there. Once we've completely dried it, I will take this little bit of colour out here, this darkness, just to blend that in a little bit better. But now I'm going to connect the top to the back. We're going to use some square layering, over direct it all to the back. This is going to be our starting point and our guide, and leave it all long towards the front. So we're going to start with some square layering. It's not you know, a super advanced technique, but it's very, very effective. When it comes to using over direction, you can actually retain length in the front, and it's effective by actually collapsing the hair because it's square, it keeps the sides flat. When we start doing layering in a conventional sense this way, we're going to start building weight. You're going to end up with this. It'll go like that, it'll go flat, and it'll go forward. We want to actually build this out so it's makes that graduated shape more pronounced, and then you end up with it going like this rather than like that. Too short, because you're never going to push it the other way. However, if your client wants to have it worn both ways, you would blend it on the sides and you end up with a point in the middle, and that allows you to push it left and right. Man, this salon's busy. Phone rings all day. It's amazing. Even on Easter Sunday.
We're live.
Can I Instagram live?
Pixie haircut used to be, for me, it used to be almost like a uniform layered cut. So for those of you who aren't hairdressers, what that means is it was essentially almost all on length with it slightly longer towards the front. These days, it's such a broad term used for short ladies' hair. It can be anything from a really short bob all the way through to what I just described, like an actual really short crop that you'd see on who's someone that's got one at the moment? Is it Emma Williams? Is that her name?
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson. Emma Watson has that really short cropped look. I like to leave soft. I've always maintained that you can have ladies' hair really short and fun, but it's still got to look beautiful for me. It can't look masculine, and it's something that I see a lot. I'm like, and again, it's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. I just think sometimes that we just do male shapes on ladies' heads, and it doesn't. I don't know. For me, it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to spin that around, so you can see I've literally just cut one straight plane at the back, which blended in there, but essentially one straight line. It is still going to be disconnected here, and we're not blending it in like I said, because she's always going to wear it that way. So I'll spin around, we'll see how that looks. And it's really important, I don't know if you guys can see that. See how I'm actually going down into the hair? I'm not going across. So you don't want to affect that shape that we've just created. That's just going to undo everything we just spent the last half an hour doing. We want to make sure that we preserve that shape. So I've been working this texture here around the back, and you can now see that without removing the length, we've now started to collapse the hair a little bit so that we get it lean. But we don't want to remove the length. So this is one of the things that I say to younger hairdressers that are a little less experienced is they see a corner like here and they go and they cut it out and then it goes flat. And one of the things about cutting short hair is you can't just cut everything to someone's head shape. You want to be able to create different shapes in the hair, and to do that you need to understand how to build shape, and that requires corners because you have to have, where two techniques meet, you're going to get a point. If you end up cutting all those points out in solid form, everything just collapses and it ends up just being the shape of someone's head, which is not such a bad thing. But if you want to be able to create more elaborate, nicer, unique shape in hair, you have to understand that you can use texture to remove the bulk and let it sit flatter without having to cut every single corner out. Looks incredible. It's absolutely amazing. Almost done. Let's take out this last little bit of bulk and then smooth you out. And then you're ready to go Easter Sunday lunch. All right, what do you think? Hey, look amazing.
Nice and light.
So I didn't think it looked bad from the start. I just think that what I've done that's a little bit different, obviously, is the transition here. I think works much better. I mean, look at that beautiful shape coming down into a neck. It's far more complementary to your face shape because, as I said, that cheekbone is now really prominent. And then on this side, the shape that was there is the same, but you can see now this is blended from the interior. So it's not blended on the exterior because we wanted to maintain that length, but from the interior coming down, that's all blended through there. You look incredible, Amanda. Absolutely incredible. And we're going to use a little bit of the anti-finishing cream, thanks to Prema here in New York City. And just the tiniest little bit. I'll actually give you one of these as a gift because, you know how I said about wearing it curly? Mm-hmm. This is the sort of thing you need. So I'm not a big fan of waxes and hairsprays, especially in ladies' hair. It's just, you want to touch your hair.
Yeah.
So the moisturiser, see how it's just a little bit fluffy? Mm-hmm. It's just going to settle down the flyaway and give you a little bit of control and a little bit of hold, but it's going to move. You don't want to, and your hand's stuck in there, right? You want to be able to touch your hair and move it around, especially in the front there where that little bit's growing back.
I saw how much of a difference it made.
Yeah, it just grabs that flyaway and we'll just run it through the side here and spin you around so they can see. It's really good for the definition. Mm-hmm. You know, working with lightened hair has its challenges, but it's one of the things that hair is generally going to be dehydrated anyway when it's been lightened, and it's just once you put moisture in it, problem solved. And then we want to make sure that we show off
Fine
that texture.
choice of words. Encourage the movement.
Yeah. Actually, like it when it goes back a little bit more, like that. Mm-hmm. Sweet. Spin you around. I'm going to grab a mirror. Let everyone see the back. I'll grab a mirror so you can see the back. Where did I put it? Just there. You can hold this so you can have a look at the back. Just hold it to the side, you'll be able to see.
Love.
Yep. So just work this over to the side so that's blended in here, because you said you always push it that way, so I haven't blended it here. Mm-hmm. There's no need to cut that short if it's never going to come that way. Around this way.
I love it.
Rocking out, babe.
Love it.
Thanks so much.
Thank
that was
you.
actually so much fun.
Good, I'm glad.
It's a beautiful shape. You have great hair to work with. The colour's right. And as we already said, I love the regrowth look. I don't think you should colour it.
I like it more
cool.
now.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I think what it does is this actually enhances the shape of the haircut because you're seeing dark into light. You're seeing that transition. Cool.
Thank you so much.
No worries. What's your Instagram?
_ Amanda _ AMAND.
I'm going to put it right here. It'll roll across right now. A little, what do you call it? Title. I'll put it down here in the description. Make sure you go and follow Amanda. She's a beautiful young woman here in New York. She's been kind enough to come volunteer her time today so I can show you guys another great haircut. Chief's been in the side, so if you've heard him, just jump in there, Chief. Chief's been doing some cutaways there got some camera equipment, so thought I'd bring him in. Like, who's the guy in the background we can hear? So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Go and follow Amanda, and until next time, it's bye from New York City.
Thank you.